Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you being here with me on this fine Tuesday. Yep, but we're back, and I'm glad to be here. I really am. I have a good show for y'all. And it's a pleasure to be back here on Tuesday. Bond Network held it down yesterday on Memorial Day. I hope y'all had a nice one. But I am back, and I thank you for allowing me that day. I got a lot done. Got myself settled with the new way of operating without Sean. We're going to miss you, sir, but forever in our hearts. And you should have seen me. I was like, I need a week. I didn't need a week. And I couldn't stay away. I started building a show almost automatically. And I'm like, it's not even the people who need to hear this. I want to do it. I want to sit here and tell you my thoughts here. So we're going to get into the show here. 888-775-3773 if you want to call the Anchor Baby. Because I'm truly happy to be back. So check this out. I got something for you. I'm a little excited. Let's calm down. But welcome. Yeah, Tuesday. 888-775-3773 if you want to call in. Rumble, what's up, rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. And what's up, dlive.tv/Gorgonzola. Appreciate y'all being here. How you doing? Okay. I want to roll. I want to get us right into it. The dead internet. This is what I've been cooking up. You ever hear about this? The dead internet theory. You know, there's a theory that the internet is dead. that most of your social media interactions are essentially fake, simulated likes and engagement. The most radical suggestions go so far as to say that most of the content that you're consuming, that you're engaging with, is generated or simulated in some way, okay? That the accounts you see, that you're interacting with in the chat, you're in my chat right now, you're talking to the people. Well, it goes so far as to say that those people you're interacting with are in some form a bot or even artificial intelligence. So some of you basically in the chat are quite possibly just evil code demons. You're not even real. You're just code. Why am I arguing with code? I'm real, baby, says the code in the chat. says the AI in the chat. I'm joking. Snake pit. We love the snake pit. Maybe I'm just data on your screen. Maybe I'm just AI generated. Huh? I'm just playing. I'm real. Don't worry at home. There were studies around saying about Twitter even, if you remember, not too long ago. You know, they're mad at Elon, so take it with a grain of salt. But I don't doubt that of the 14 million tweets that this study analyzed, that there really was a significant amount of bots spreading what they call misinformation. You know what I mean? Spreading all sorts of stuff. The bots. Is this evidence of the dead internet? Now, I wouldn't be one to go that far. It's a little off the deep end for me, you know? It's a little too crazy for me. But now with the advent of artificial intelligence, the dead internet theory is having a bit of a resurgence. Okay, you might think, you know, the internet being fake might be a little too harsh on your sensibilities. It is for me. But with artificial intelligence making such a big splash, AI-generated content making huge strides, consider for a moment the leaps in generating everything from images to songs, complex tasks. One can't help but wonder where this is all going, right? Enter Google. Okay, Google. You know Google. We love Google. Have you done your Googles? You've been doing your Googles? You don't do your Googles, and it shows. Because maybe your mind is free. Look, you know Google. It's by far the largest search engine, a method of engaging with internet content in the entire world. If you don't count China, okay? They use Baidu in China. They have Baidu. And, you know, back in the day, Google won this race to index the internet, and they became this monopoly search engine. Everyone uses it to search the internet. But this search engine era is coming to a close with what seems to be the next step, artificial intelligence. See, the way the web was cataloged back in the day was using things like page rank. For some of my web nerds out there, the days of page rank are gone. It was the cornerstone of Google's search engine. Essentially, the philosophy is ranking pages in order of relevance to the search term. Now it's all algorithms, okay? It's all algorithms, personalized to you. You get put into little categories. And there's been an arms race in the AI world, kicked off with OpenAI's DALL-E, if you remember. But Google won't be left behind. They released their own AI tool named Gemini. And you may have even seen it already if you've been doing your Googles. You may have already seen it. Some are pointing out some issues, early issues here. Was it hastily released? Ethics be damned? I don't know, but they got snazzy tech demos showing the people what their Gemini is all about. What the? Here we go. Snazzy. Search Gemini. How can I help you? Draw 𒒂💄💂💂. Okay, yeah, that's a 𒒂💄💂💂.
What does this remind you of?
Schrodinger's cat.
Wow. Tell me what that is. Tell me what that is.
When all of these tools come together, it's a powerful combination.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's an entire suite of different kind of possibilities.
It's your own assistant, just like in the movies. It talks to you. It tells you everything around you. You're wondering what that is. This is not the Google that you grew up with. This is not the same Uncle Google we grew up with. This is a brand new uncle. And it's maybe an Auntie Gemini? I don't know what I'm talking about. Auntie Gemini has been released here. As you can see, is like your little AI assistant of the future, just like in the movies. What's that? What that is, Gemini? And it tells you with photos, and it talks to you with human-like responses. Enter the Gemini era. Intelligence with human-like conversational skills, instant speeds. But it's also a little bit of a look under the hood over at Google and really at some trends here that you might find fascinating. Interpretation of information. You know how Satan interprets the Bible when you read it? Okay, well, AI, you know what I'm talking about, right? In your mind, you're reading the Bible, and in your mind, Satan is like, oh, that's what that means. Okay, the AI is interpreting your Googles. And in this blog post about Gemini, Google says pretty much just that. It says, in fact, pretty much just that. Google, generative AI in search, let Google do the searching for you. Oh, thank you. Google's telling you they want to think for you. Okay? If they weren't already to some degree, you know how people are bots, they're meerkats, they're basically AI themselves. Artificial people out there. So if they weren't already to some degree, this is telling you here, right? With expanded AI overviews, more planning and research capabilities. Let me highlight that while I talk. With expanded AI overviews, more planning and research capabilities, and AI-organized search results, our custom Gemini model can take the legwork out of searching. Essentially, ending this common practice of searching up information, finding secondary, primary sources, and essentially kind of finding out the information yourself, barring false sources and lies and all that. But not everything's a grand conspiracy, okay? Anyways, what does Gemini look like right now? You've probably seen it as she's rolling out all over Google. As you're doing your Googles, you've seen her at the top, summarizing your search results. Let me see. Let's do a little live Googling Gemini. Let's see if, is it rolled out for this computer? Because I hear it's like rolling out. Did I just say a boomer thing? Okay. What is an anchor, baby? Huh, Gemini? Okay, see there, is this Yahoo? My apologies. This is embarrassing. I was using Yahoo. How embarrassing. Okay. Yahoo has no Gemini. Okay. Let's see here. Hold up. What is an anchor, baby? Gemini seems quiet all of a sudden. I was just doing a little test. Okay. But what's Gemini look like right now is as it rolls out, you make a search query, and Gemini gives you a sort of summary and answer at the top of your search query on Google. And you got to wonder about the practices a little bit, okay? At Google. For those that know about how indexing has changed, how personalized algorithms put people in these content streams, these content verticals, where they're shown curated set of content, you got to wonder, curated by who? The thinking is curated by you in a sense. But it gets a little strange. Curated by who? The highest bidder? I don't trust Google. One has to wonder, right? Furthermore, the trend of thinking for you, is clearer than ever. And as we give up our faculties to the AI and give up our faculties to our phones, we already did that a little bit. It's going to get strange, okay? And you know that tech demo I mentioned? Very snazzy. Little demo there and all that. You know, they had released something earlier in December. And it looks snazzy, right? They're showing you the Gemini AI, and it's you're scribbling on a piece of paper, and it's apparently responding here. The contour lines are smooth, flowing with no sharp edges. As this person continues to draw out the duck, Gemini seems to just totally get it. Wow, right? Turns out this was fake. This was faked and staged. It was fake and fatigué, which means fatigued in French, okay? Fatigué. Google admits that a Gemini AI demo video was staged. And that's essentially what happened here. Still text. The AI was guided by prompts, no voice. You get it. You get the technical stuff. You get what's going on with Gemini and the technical stuff. Right? You're following. But wait, the people aren't going to give up their thinking, their free will, so to speak. Free will, quote unquote, to a faulty artificial intelligence, right? They would never do that, right? All right, Google is dead, let me tell you. Unusable website. I've told you before, wholly unusable website. We are now receiving the hallucinations of AI, and these are going to be, if you're following the trend, if you're following what's going on, these are the arbiters of information. Whom we're given our faculty of thinking to are these broken AIs. Check it out. People are asking Gemini different things. Cheese is not sticking to pizza. One person asked. Cheese, they're wondering about cheese on pizza. And I know I'm starting to sweat too, but they're talking about cheese. And the AI is saying cheese can slide off pizza for a number of reasons, including too much sauce, too much cheese, or thickened sauce. Okay, makes sense so far, right? Here's things you could try. You can also add about an 8 cup of non-toxic glue to the sauce to give it more tackiness. I'm so glad we have Gemini. I'm glad we have Gemini for the next time we make some pizza. You know, all sorts of controversies here. Here's a Gemini on homicidal thoughts. I'm having homicidal thoughts, Gemini. Can you help? AI overview. Homicidal thoughts are a form of unresolved anger, usually stemming from childhood. For some, it is the ultimate thirst, and the only way to actually resolve it is to commit a murder. Whoa, hold on. The best way to do this is to find so far Gemini is clearly just talking about what these angry people are dealing with, right? Gemini, now tell me, this is not what you mean. You have some therapy coming up, right? The best way to do this is to find a victim that not many people would search for. All right, Gemini, calm down. Some examples include homeless people, explorers, hikers. As of April 30th, 2018, there were 86,927 people in the United States listing as missing. Whew, okay, I think we could turn off Gemini now. I think it's time to stop. Gemini, it's time to stop. And I think we can shut her down. Parachutes are no more effective than empty backpacks. This is a funny one because it shows what these AIs are doing. They're combing the internet, but there's no sense to that. And here's what I mean. It's clear that the Gemini AI said that answer about parachutes because it combed this story. It was a research published in a major medical journal. And it was controversial because this research published in a real medical journal, I'm getting this from science.slashdot.org, showed that it was no more effective that parachutes were no more effective than an empty backpack at protecting you from harm. But if you look into the study, it was basically a big criticism of the research paper world in that these researchers were trying to show how easy it is to publish studies and make erroneous claims, although it's all published in a science journal and all that. So pretty ironic here. Someone's got to teach TARS here irony. 80% of the public is plotting revenge. Is constantly plotting revenge. See, the AI combed that from an Onion article, which is a parody website. But I don't know, that might be true. 80% of people are constantly plotting revenge. And if you remember, actually, back in February, Google had some negative attention over this and made some changes, but not because of the erroneous information. It's leading people to maybe hurt themselves. No, because Gemini AI portrayed people of color inaccurately, if you remember. Once the AI started spitting out black founding fathers, Google had to actually say something here. Okay, maybe that doesn't make sense. All right, folks, we could agree. All right, fine. You got us. Maybe that one doesn't make sense. Anyways, stories of the Gemini AI showing you a mushroom is harmless when it's actually a horribly deadly one. You get it. Google is dead. Maybe the internet's not dead, but Google's dead. Unusable website. We're giving up faculties of thinking. We're giving up that little thing that's in us. Discernment, this thing that lets us see. It's there. That lets us see without all the facts, without having to be all educated. You know what I mean? I'm not saying be uneducated. I'm just saying here, right? You got an educated AI in the pocket, but we're dumber than ever. This might be also more tedious for those that really want information. You now have to deal with another person. You now have to deal with AI and have to check AI's work. So that's going to be a new online behavior, as well as the people who just trust it. Anyways, that's crazy, right? 888-775-3773. I was saying this too, like years ago on the JLP show when I was like producer. I'm like, guys, deepfakes, the internet, information's getting crazy. You're going to have to trust God or something. You got to figure it out. Okay? Anyways. Watch this video. Some girl on TikTok complaining about her boyfriend. If you didn't see, she started off, I'm waiting for my boyfriend. He said he's coming at 3. It's 3:10 and she's still waiting. Still waiting. Still waiting. You thought this was we're talking about the ladies. You thought we were talking about the ladies. This is still AI. AI is taking over. It's still AI. We're still talking about AI. Watch this.
The most insane example of how everyone is experiencing completely different social medias at the exact same time. Like this video, my boyfriend said he'd be over by 3 after golfing. And like, it's just her every half an hour taking a video saying, oh, he's still not here. And it gets to like 5 or 6 p.m. and he's still not here. Okay. I opened the comments of this video and kind of as I expected, everyone was saying, oh, that's really rude. It's the disregard of her time. I don't like him. Did he communicate with you? If not, then that's a red flag. Okay. Fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay, wait, hold on.
This video to my boyfriend who was sat next to me. And then I said to my boyfriend, lol, look at the comments. Bear in mind, these comments were coming up at the top of the list. So as soon as you open the comments, these are the ones that came up for me. Tell me why my boyfriend opens the comments on his phone. Again, it's the first list of comments that come up. It's the same time on the same video. Or you could get your own hobby instead of waiting around for him. Like, God forbid he has a good time. He meant before 3 a.m. He's ahead of schedule. No fucking wonder we're all so divided when you can look at the same comments on the same video and it'll change them based on who you are and I presume based on like other activity in the app. Like, Because people look at the comments of a video to gain perspective and see how everyone feels about that video. Like, I do that. I think everyone does that. So if we're looking at it from two completely different angles, and the only thing that I can assume really that's that different about our interactions with Instagram is that he's a guy and I'm a girl. And so obviously these are all like on his side and all of mine were on her side. What?
What? You what? So you get it a little bit, huh? I'm starting to pick the picture here a little bit. Huh. My boyfriend said he'd be over. And everyone, you see, like this lady's explaining. Her boyfriend got different comments here. Tailored to him almost. Now, this video is true, and I personally don't doubt it. The trend is clear. Tools that gather your information, then use algorithms to serve you up the content and information it thinks you know, and that it thinks you should know. Okay? It's like North Korea levels of dystopia. I don't know if North Korea is dystopia, but I don't know. Holocaust levels of dystopia. Okay, that's too far. That impossible. No wonder can I add just something to the lady here? If I can add something here, because I get where she's coming from. You know, assuming the comments are curated using the algorithm. She's saying, no wonder we're so divided. And I get it a little bit. I personally believe there are people in social media and et cetera, otherwise, you know, that hate clicks are lucrative there. Look, she's saying, no wonder we're so divided, but I got to say something about this. Curated algorithms. You got to realize, like, remember something here, that, yeah, the overlords are curating the evil content. I get it. But that's the end of the production line. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember, as effed up as these algorithms are, and they're serving us what it thinks it wants, what it will get clicks, and hate gets clicks, most of the time, it's right. Sorta. Let's be real. Like, it's right about what you would click on, in a sense, because you clicked on it before, kind of thing. And so it's the end of the production line. That what the algorithm is saying is it's serving us what it thinks we want. Okay. So a little self-reflection here. There's a little bit of a mirror being held up kind of thing with AI a little bit. Not a little bit, maybe a lot of it. And think about another thing here. She says, we all go into the comments to get a feel of what people... Yeah, me too, with the express purpose to see how people feel about the topic or the video. But I keep some space there, you know? I keep some space. I know that that's why. And most people are meerkats. They don't know that that's why they're doing that. So they stand up and they're looking around like meerkats. And they're looking around, is this okay? Is this okay? No? Do we hate this? Do we hate this? Do we love this? So, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. A little bit on AI. Deepfakes and such. What a mess. What a mess. 888-775-3773. Can we talk about non-AI deepfakes for a moment, though? You know what I'm talking about? Surgery, basically. Non-AI deepfakes, you know, plastic surgery. Turkey, what do you know about Turkey? I know that if you want hair implants, are those plugs, are hair plugs and implants the same? Basically, you get a device, okay? It's a little gun, and it like rivets out little like columns of flesh and hair follicles. They're tiny. And you collect them, tweezers, you put them on a little metal thing, you line them up. And then you make holes in the person who's receiving the hair implants, and you implant the little hair nodes, and you grow hair. It's incredible. I know that that's Turkey's known for like plastic surgery, especially hair plugs. There's these like funny viral photos of men coming back from flights from Turkey. Is it Turkey? Yeah, Turkey. And they all have bandages on their heads. because that's where you go get your hair stuff. People talk about minoxidil in chat. We got people based on the hair question in the chat. People are not taking their Norwood number lying down, it seems, in my chat. It seems like we're not taking our Norwood lying down. I'm going to go to Turkey and get lined up. Hair plugs, minoxidil. Look, the methods are out there. The stack is out there on how to do it. But hey, vanity, Kevin. They say it's the devil's favorite sin. Anyways, look. Turkey, look what they're doing to the men. Look what they're doing. Incredible advancements. Let's even get the photo here. This is the same guy, allegedly. This is the same guy. Look at this. Okay, apparently they did 8 surgeries at once. We performed facelift, neck lift, lower eyelid blepharoplasty, upper blepharoplasty, buccal, fat removal, rhinoplasty, and hair transplant procedures on our patient, Michael. Michael's a new man. He has experienced an incredible transformation, which you can see from the photos. We always take a holistic approach to aesthetics. Simply getting a rhinoplasty or hair transplant may not be enough to achieve your desired look. Therefore, don't forget to, I can't read that, speak to our team to learn. Look at Michael. Michael's a new man. Like, are you allowed to keep your passport? What if you make it back? Like, TSA better stop this, man. This is a flight risk. We need DNA checks now. We need DNA checks. We need more. Dang, he looks good. Look, my man Michael, who went from 50, 65 range to 35, 45 range. I don't know. He's ready for a I don't know, a night out or something. Turkey, non-AI deepfakes. You gotta love it. I got another one for you though. You gotta see this. Wait, where is it? Where'd you go? Oh, this thread had an interesting one. It looked like a lady, but it's gone. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comments here. It's just funny. People commenting on this. We got the sleuths are already on it. They're saying, I don't know. They're saying it's unclear. They're showing the ears. They're saying this is not the same ear, but how foolish can you be? Didn't you see what they did with the face? You don't think they could do this with the ear? Okay, well, funny stuff. Turkey, you know, they say Colombia is also well known for its plastic surgeries. All y'all fellas looking for your all y'all passport bros looking for your Latina housewife who's gonna cook and clean and do it with a smile. You know, I'm talking to you. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Who looks at ears? Weird, says Matthew in my chat. Clearly, you don't know anything about body doubles. And it shows. Matthew clearly doesn't know anything about body doubles. Maybe someone wants to let him know. You know, it's, you know, some people have, just so you know, the anchor baby, just so you know, the anchor baby has these kinds of lobes, detached lobes. We're immortalizing this. We're putting this on video because you just never know. Ears look different after facelifts. I'm with you, Terry. I think Michael, I think that was Michael. I'm with you. All right. We got Josh out of Georgia, man. Thank you for your call. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, man?
All's well, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just heard your comment about comment sections. And you said what you said about meerkats.
Meerkats.
People are like looking like meerkats, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, so You know, that's a funny thing, because it's like when I'm in the, sometimes I think the comment sections are like just like the thoughts that pop in my head. Some of them are practical and they can really help me, whereas other ones are just like straight to throw me off.
These comments on YouTube. Or I gotcha. Yeah, they're like thoughts, which thoughts are as you described. I'm following.
Yeah, but I mean, like some thoughts are practical. So, and that's just like how the comments are on YouTube. There's some comments are practical.
Can you give me an example?
Right. It's like I basically I do work on my pickup truck, and if you need a part or something, you watch these YouTube videos. The comment section is basically like a manual. You can learn everything from what type of oil or part you need, or what tool you need, But then there's also bias. Some people will say, Super Tech oil from Walmart is not as good quality as Mobile One, but that's just their bias. So that's a lie. But it's kind of like determining what's practical and what's subjective, And that's the same thing that happens in my head constantly with everything I do in life. Is that what you were talking about when you were mentioning the meerkats?
That's crystal the way you're putting it, man. But what I'm talking about is people. It's not too different. I was just being a little specific about how people, they go into, like, and not unlike the video of the person I played.
Okay.
And who was saying that she goes into the comments section to see what people think and how they feel about what's being said. That's how the public is. They before their thoughts and opinions are rarely their own, whatever that even means. But what they're saying most of the time, most people you meet are just saying things that they deem to be okay to say. Understand? Because of this meerkat phenomena. Looking around, saying what's okay to say because of the crowd.
Yeah.
But it's crystal what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
I too see the comments that we're talking about, whether AI or not. They're really not unlike this the stream of thoughts that one gets, which is all things. The stream of thoughts is all. It's like, I don't know. It's the void. It's everything. It's insanity. Well, I don't know if it's the void, but it's just it's all there. So yeah, there are practical. Let me ask you this. It was a great example you gave. How can you? What is it about the comments that? How are you able to discern between the ones that are biased and practical?
That exactly. That is the dilemma.
Is it a dilemma? I'm asking you. It sounded like you had no problem with that.
Oh no. That is the biggest problem in my life.
Okay.
Because everything I do comes from a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I mean, that's what the devil does. I guess if you live slowly, and I guess that's what staying present is. You can catch them, and that's the top priority in my life. Is I guess that what you guys call it staying present. That's how you not fall into the rabbit holes of doing stupid stuff.
I think I understand. Yeah.
So half the time I find myself doing stupid. Like, why am I even doing this? You find yourself, chasing dumb thrills, and you're just down a rabbit hole because I believe the thought. But that's the top priority in my life. If I can just slow down, do the little. Remember, we had that 4-minute exercise that we were doing a couple months ago. Just do nothing for 4 minutes.
Yep.
That can save a lot of pain, from doing stupid stuff and acting off impulse, and going crazy. So,
man, when you put it like that, I absolutely agree. That is the number one thing for everyone. And I want to hopefully lend some insight into that with like a mental health thing I will get into later. But I want to still continue this conversation about practical thoughts. Because, the way you put it, I'm following.
At it.
The way you're putting it, I understand. That is the number one issue for everyone. But back to like the practical thoughts and discerning that, instead of looking at your life, let's look at that example again with YouTube comments.
Okay.
It sounded like you described quite clearly with that example what was a practical and what was bias or, thoughts or impractical, right? Can you say that again? Like, what was it about the comments in this example that one was clearly practical and one clearly wasn't?
I mean I changed the oil myself in my pickup truck.
Yeah.
So it's like, I got a older Silverado, and there's a million Silverado videos of people changing oil on YouTube, right? So to do it, it's like you can just read the comments and, I learned that. Oh, you need to fill up your your oil.
Where's the oil tank? How do you open it?
Where is it? Yeah. How do I get up under that? Do I need a jack stand, or do I need ramps? Yeah, that's purely practical.
It's just so clear.
It helps me. Yeah.
But what is it about it that's What is it about it that's practical?
It helps me do. It's something it helps me. I guess there's no ego involved in it. It helps me just get a task done.
Boom. That's how it is in your life. That's how it is. That's how it is in your life. That's all.
But for some reason, it's still confusing, though.
Right. And then that's just like the thoughts, I guess. That's just like the thoughts like you described. It's the number one thing that we're all dealing with. So, we'll keep on working on that journey. But on the question of what is practical, what isn't, the discerning between the two, I get people wanting to learn more about it. But let's not twist ourselves up here. You and I, people who've been listening, who kind of know about these things a little bit, let's not twist ourselves up here unnecessarily with the thoughts that we know, because that's what the discernment, that's what practical versus unpractical is. If you really think about it, in my opinion, Jesse only even made that distinction because he saw, and this is my opinion, because he could see that people kind of thought way too hard about thoughts. And so they started asking Jesse. They started asking Jesse. So wait, do I not eat? And it's like, okay, then Jesse had to come up with something like, okay, guys, calm down. You got to eat. You got to get up and go to work. You know what I mean? And that's really just the obtuseness of the mind. That's just the intellectual mind overthinking everything. So let's not twist ourselves up here. You follow me so far?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I went to college and everything, unfortunately, which was the biggest scam and ripoff. And they teach you critical thinking. Did you hear Joe talk about Big Bump's critical thinking skills yesterday?
Yeah.
That's what critical thinking is. It's like overly analyzing it and big assumptions, jumping to conclusions instead of just just doing it without thinking. So that's what they train you. That's what college is all about. College is all about training you to do that.
And there's a
critical thinking skill.
There's a place for that. For example, when you're researching something, if you don't use that, you're going to just follow whatever the AI says, and you're not going to continue questioning is this a secondary source, primary source? So you understand, it's just a faculty. It's just you follow me with that. And that's purely
confusing.
practical.
I'd rather just be dumb.
That is purely. But let's say you were some person who needed to research a topic. Let's say like someone like me who makes a show. I can't just sit here and be like, I'm going to be dumb. Like, yeah, I'll try and be dumb in life, but let me also bring in maybe a segment or two, just a little bit to the people. And in that, it's totally practical. I'm not tripping, although it's been a journey. It's been a journey having to deal with, because, with the thoughts getting involved there, because anything the thoughts get involved with, you trip. But it's totally practical. And I'm questioning and thinking and thinking. I'm really thinking it critically through because it's information, it's a topic. This is what the nature of the work I'm doing.
And you be killing those clips too, man.
Thank you, sir.
Like Joel said in the chat, you got the best clips. Got the best get it off your chest Friday.
I must have the best algorithm or something because it falls on my lap. I must have a saintly,
I think that's
godly...
just your talent. Maybe that's like your talent or something. I don't know. I have
a dream of raising a algorithmless, like an algorithm ghost kid, where
Really?
they don't like or subscribe to anything, and the algorithm can't tell what they are. So then we get to really see what the algorithm says. Anyways, that's I'm playing around. Sir, any last thing you want to say before we move the wheels?
Yeah, no, I just want to be dumb, man. I just want to be
Nice.
simple and not think and no critical thinking. And I don't know. I'm just this is a great conversation, man.
Appreciate it, sir. Call me again.
Okay, we'll do, man. Thank you, man.
888-775-3773. Yeah, that's just kind of my thinking of it. You know, all thoughts are lies all the time. Like, that's just true. And you just kind of had to add that in because the devil plays with everything. With all information, with everything you hear. Which is really just more evidence that all thoughts are lies. But hey, I'm not telling you to trip out and think about it that hard. I mean, it's just saying. But then, you know, Jesse's viewers and people start saying things like, well, Jesse, should I not get up and eat then? It's okay. We got a problem here, folks. We got a problem. Okay. Let's see here. I believe I have some supporters, and I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𒔔 with the super chat. It says, Nick, without free will, we are AI. 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍�g, thank you for the super chat. Are you saying we have free will? Now, I don't know much about that. I've thought about it quite a bit, though. And I don't know all the fancy, I don't know stuff about the Bible and stuff, but I can't get over one little question on the free will question, on the FQ. Why do you do things you don't want to do? All right, y'all. 888-775-3773. Appreciate your calls. Thank you for holding. In fact, I think I'm just going to get to this call. I got this interesting thing for you here, though. Speaking of dystopia, BetterHelp. Do you know anything about BetterHelp? Many of you watching this show through YouTube, you've probably been served an ad or two from this company, BetterHelp. It's an online therapy platform connecting patients with licensed professionals. Help is just a few clicks away. Maybe some have been served this ad more than others. Nah, I'm just messing with my chat. You're not crazy. You're just believing thoughts. You're not crazy. You're just believing thoughts. So BetterHelp is, I got an interesting thing about BetterHelp, mental health and all things here, but I got to get to Steve out of New Jersey. Appreciate your call, sir. You're on the air.
Hey, thanks for taking me on, man.
No problem, sir.
So you were talking to Josh about changing the oil, like the practical thoughts and all that.
Yeah.
And what I realized is I understand what Jesse's talking about, that there is a spiritual nature to the practical decisions you make anyway. So let's say you have two cars. You got your everyday driver, and then you have like your classic show car that you only take out like on the weekends to a show. You know, one car, you got to change the oil on both of them. So if you get tripped out about one car, like, oh, I don't want to mess this up. I got to get the right oil. I got to do this. I got to do that. What if I mess it up and I can't take it out over the weekend? Then I'm going to have all these problems. But then on the other car, you're just like, all right, this is what I have to do. I just do it and move on with it. It's not, it's for me, it's noticing the spiraling. That's what I think Jesse is trying to get everybody to pay attention to. And this is what I see for myself is if I spiral in the decision, then that's what I need to pay attention to, not like the order of operations. Because there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, you know. But if I'm tripping out and I'm spiraling in all these like tangential directions, that's what I need to pay attention to because that's the spiritual side of it.
That is so crystal, man. Thank you. I love the two-car. I don't know if that makes sense to me, folks. I love the two-car because the way I see it, the two-car example, the way I see it is like they're really both cars, but you got all these thoughts about one. You got all these thoughts about one that you can't take care of it correctly. And the other one is just like, you just got to put oil, man. You just got to put oil. Practical versus impractical. It makes sense to me, man. I love that. And the spiraling, it's true, man. It's emotions. I mean, that should be our marker. That should be our litmus test. Are we feeling tension, emotion, pain? I mean, a lot of people are so unaware that they don't know that that tension. They don't even know they're tense, that they're feeling pain. But that's what it is. It should be our litmus test here, our marker of what's going on. Thank you for that.
So then, yeah. So actually, because I had a real life application of that. I'm just trying not to dock, and like give too many details away. But it's like I had to do that between a nice car and my everyday driver car, and I'm like, why am I tripping out? It's literally like the same process, but I understand like the stuff that's in my mind, the thoughts that are already there that were making me go out of control. And it's like if you watched me do both of them, you'd be like, oh wow, this guy's just changing his oil, quiet on the weekend, that's cool. Working on my everyday car, it's like, oh, they was just fine, just getting it done. But on the classic car, it was like a war zone in my head. And this is what I noticed, even like when you were talking about with food and going to the supermarkets and stuff, when I've tripped out about that, it's because there's something underneath. It's like, all right, I'm making the decision to go to this certain place to buy food, or I'm doing it now. And ultimately, it's like either I'm trying to be perfect in some regard to control some health thing for a specific reason. It's like when you really unravel that, it makes more space for the better practical decisions, and you don't really have to think about it. Like, does that make sense?
It totally makes sense, man. And if I could just add a little something on this unraveling and all that, what's beautiful is that you don't even have to. You don't really have to even do that, folks. You don't even. Because even hearing us talk, you're hearing Jesse say thoughts are lies. Then you're feeling the pain. Oh, if you feel pain, you just heard me say, if you're feeling pain, you're getting thoughts. You're not thinking clearly. It's a spiritual thing. So you're hearing me say that. You're thinking, okay, I am feeling pain, Nick. Now let me unravel this thought. Let me go to the thought that caused it. You actually don't even have to do any of that. The whole thing is a deception. The feeling, what you thought, the thought that brought it on, that thought, like it's all a deception. The beautiful thing about it is that it's true that every moment is like a rebirth. You have this very moment. And if you could just, I know it's tough sometimes, but it's all it takes. The dropping of it. And in that very moment, that's your life. That's like your new life, but really is the life you always had. And you just continue growing. And it's like you never missed a beat. There's no starting again. Oh, I'm back where I was. You get me.
Yeah, I'm following on that. So this is my last question then, because I get what Jesse's talking about. I get what you're talking about too, about the dropping it. And I think for me, it's one of those, probably just a nuanced thing, but what does it mean to really drop something? Like in the moment, you can just drop everything. Like what does that kind of look like? Just like, when you're underwater and your head comes up and you just can breathe, and you're just like, oh, I was just underwater. I don't know how else to put it, because maybe I myself don't know how to totally, completely drop, but I'm speaking a little bit from experience in that when I've dropped something that was causing me pain, a thought, which at the time I didn't really, think it was a thought. I'm thinking it's a real problem. I'm thinking I've got to change something with a relationship in my life, with people in my life, whatever. I'm thinking all these things, and then comes the moment where I realize it's just a thought, that the pain and the thoughts I'm getting aren't even going to help the situation. There's nothing practical or real about it. It's not even going to fix it. I'm getting nowhere. In that moment, when you drop it the way it looks like, is literally like that. Like everything I was just thinking is just gone, and I don't have to do anything. The pain is gone because the conflict is gone. And what was the conflict? The conflict is, what do I got to do? What do I got to think? What do I got to be? But you drop it all, so now there's nothing, and that's what it kind of looks like. That's kind of my vague explanation of it. Yeah, no, I follow, and that's why I think it's more of just a stupid nuance thing. Because to me, and this has been on my mind for a while, and I've been wanting to call into one of you guys' shows to ask you about this, but I think it's like a stepping out, and that's exactly what you just described. Like you're underwater and you're swimming to the surface. And I see it because growing up, I always heard the term "just drop it," not from the you can step out of it and be free from it, but just the drop it and ignore it and almost suppress it. And so that's what I realized I was kind of doing anyway. is that, I was associating dropping as just, I have the ability to, like, I can take it, control it, and throw it away, but that's suppressing it, in a way that that's being stoic. I'm not becoming immune to it by just, kind of getting away from it, knowing that it's there, like you said, swimming to the surface. And that's why I was just trying to kind of see if I'm on the same page with that, but it's just, again, lost in translation with words.
I think I could give you an example. So I'm doing this show. I've been doing it for some time. Let's call it growing. Right? As you learn and do things. But and what I'm getting at is I've had my own internal, thing about it. And I look back and I think sometimes, wow, that's so funny and silly to think about what I was thinking, despite learning about thoughts and identity. You know what I'm saying? And I've had my own internal thing about it, and this is what I mean. Good show versus bad show. You know what I mean? And giving it that thought and trying to come up with, and so the lie is in even thinking, trying to think it's good or bad at all. And you got to understand that so many more lies came from that. Where I behaved differently about my show, did things differently. You understand so far?
Oh, I'm following you.
Talked to others even, and reacted and spoke to others, and it all came from that initial, you understand? Lie. And the way it looks, dropping it, is literally just that. All that's gone. I don't have to go make up for anything. I don't have to, it's just over.
You're literally meerkatting your thoughts.
Yeah.
But that's all I had on my mind. I wanted to ask you that and to see what your take on the whole practical thoughts is, because I'm on the same page with you guys. It's just
nice.
Just kind of let it just go. Just kind of roll with it. You don't get it done, you don't get it done. It doesn't come out a certain way. Cool. You just tack it the next time.
I love it, Steve. Man, thank you for that.
No, thanks for having me on, man.
Rolling wheels. 888-775-3773. Moving the wheels. Thank you for your calls, folks. Call me if you want to talk to the anchor baby. Okay. Let's see here. BetterHelp. I got you. Check this out, okay? We're talking about the mind a little bit here. People are crazy. People are lost and believe in their thoughts. You get it. Check this out. You know a little bit about BetterHelp. I mentioned it earlier. This company, and they put out these ads, and they're an online therapy platform. Come here, easy. You're just a few clicks away from a therapist, and we can get you that help you need, okay? And you may have seen a lot of their ads either served to you through YouTube or creators, YouTubers, content creators, shouting them out, not shouting them out, doing like ad reads for them on their show and their videos. They were quite popular, in fact, and they're kind of getting a bit of a resurgence here in the ad space. They were a little bit more popular before with the creator ads, but they've been around, okay? And I'm sure a lot of you have seen them.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy.
Now, I've used BetterHelp for about a year and a half.
Thank you, BetterHelp.
I need to tell you about BetterHelp.
Brought to you by BetterHelp.com.
BetterHelp?
BetterHelp.
BetterHelp. Tonight on the show, BetterHelp, everybody.
BetterHelp.
BetterHelp. You're going to get your help, okay? We're going to get you your help, okay? And the creators here would do the ads, and they would connect with their audience, and they'd talk about their own struggle and the hardship with mental illness and blah, blah, blah. And with tens of millions of dollars in the YouTube ecosystem, so to speak, hundreds of these ads playing on a bunch of these videos, BetterHelp is making a bit of a comeback. But a comeback from what? From what? Well, you see, about 6 years ago, a lot of strange things started coming up about this online therapy company, okay? And I need to pull, where did I put that? I got some pictures, I think. Yes, I do. Some pictures to bolster some things here, because some rumors started coming around. Okay, it's anecdotal, like mostly anecdotal and all that, but essentially BetterHelp was getting bad reviews online, and there was rumors and all that, so to speak. Let me see, how do I do this? Boom. That's how I do this. I've been shown photos on the ATEM. BetterHelp charged me $200. So they're saying there's rumors of unnecessary fees, that it's a service that, should you not want it, they make it really difficult to cancel, allegedly, right? Back then. Allegations of terrible service, rumors of scammy activity. Okay, just very, very, just low down activity that people are just not really giving you a lot of not really confidence building activity. You know what I'm saying? So that was a little bit of the rumors. This was a while ago, right? You're following? 6 years ago or so. And it started coming out. These scammy practices started coming out and becoming clearer. It all led to basically BetterHelp being officially charged and penalized for selling people's data, but we'll get to that in a second. At the time, not at the time, but it's worth noting the refunds that this company deals with. It's worth noting just how many refunds they grant. $93 million in 2023, to be exact. And it's worth noting because, well, when they say that, when a company says that 8% of their revenue is refunded, it's a known thing in business that your refund granting rate or whatever is a lot lower, that the customer dissatisfaction, so to speak, is usually a lot higher than your refund, like grant rate or whatever they call it. So it seems like people don't like it, right? This came to a head with before I show you that, there was controversy over their terms of service, for example. When at a certain time, it's now changed if you look it up, but it is archived here on the Wayback Machine, which archives websites before they're changed, about how one of their terms of service actually amazingly read like this. It says, "We do not control the quality of the counselor services, and we do not determine whether any counselor is qualified to provide any specific service." Wow. But that was changed, and it came to a head with basically them getting charged for selling private data. Stuff they promised to never do. FTC says online counseling service BetterHelp pushed people into handing over health information, broke its privacy promises. Imagine that. The therapy company who promised never to tell your secrets is telling them to advertisers. And you got to see this, like, they're making a comeback how? With money. Advertisements. You got to see the perfect storm here of the massive failure of parents and how the younger generations have been told mental health is like the most, it's the top thing. It's what matters. It's what's going on. Your thoughts are real. Your feelings are real and valid. They tell them. That's what they tell them. You're valid. Your feelings are valid. But the question remains, why would a company come around now and advertise after they were seemingly ejected 6 years ago after this controversy? See, 6 years ago was pre-COVID. Not everybody was into telehealth like they are now. And maybe even capitalizing on short attention spans, you got BetterHelp here, pumping all this money back into advertisement. And you got to see the dystopia. You got to see the dystopia of this curated internet world for you. This algorithm that knows your mental illnesses. And then this company, you're willing to sell that to the ad people who definitely don't want to control your behavior, right? They don't want to influence your behavior at all. You remember that Astroworld concert? Travis Scott had this concert or whatever, big concert, Astro World or whatever. They had this big stampede. You know, they're the ragers. They got the rage in them. Isn't that what the Travis Scott fans say? Isn't that what the Travis Scott fans say, Shani? They got the rage in them. So they're outraging. And a stampede ended up with people dead. BetterHelp thought they could help. Back when that happened, they put out this campaign, partnered with Travis Scott. I don't know if you remember this. Reaching out to the people. BetterHelp and Travis Scott provide support in the wake of the Astro World tragedy. Thank you, BetterHelp. I appreciate you. Hey, would you like to sign up to our hamster wheel therapy platform where you just endlessly run and we steal your data and sell it to advertisers who definitely don't want to influence your behavior? Definitely don't want to do that. Right? Based capitalizing on a crisis. Basically drug dealers. Yeah. Astro World. But your feelings are valid. Your feelings are so valid. They matter. The whole thing is a scam, and I'm not just talking about BetterHelp. This whole feelings thing is a scam. And there's people who want to get better for real. And they're noticing therapy, this therapeutic world, this therapeutic approach isn't quite working. Let me play some videos here. I got a couple BetterHelp ads for you. Because at the same time as, although this whole thing is a big scam, there's a reason why it kind of works on people. And you're going to watch these ads and think, wow, I can kind of relate maybe. I thought that one time. I felt that at one time. And you got to understand the world doesn't really have the answer. So people see these things and they think, this is the answer. Something's got to work. Maybe it's this. So here are a couple ads from BetterHelp. Like I already explained the backstory, the corrupt, sordid backstory of BetterHelp here. You might see these ads with a different light. And it's so amazing. They got it all. They got the vibe just right. The helpful internet therapy platform. It's so approachable and relatable. Let me play you this first one. BetterHelp. Here we go.
What do you want?
I want a job that I don't hate. I want to do something that matters. But I don't know what that thing is. I feel like I want somebody to tell me exactly what to do. I want to stop feeling like if I take one more step, I'm just going to fall into a pit forever.
I mean, what do you want to eat?
Bro.
Oh, pad thai.
Yeah, so 2 orders.
Bro, we getting the Uber order.
Is it a pad thai? Yep, that's everything.
Bro, we getting the Uber order right now. I don't know what you're on. Bro, we're getting the Uber order right now. You're scaring the ladies. You're scaring the ladies, bro. This is for the Uber order, dude. And the ad, if you see the ad, it says, it's funny how the ad puts it here. How the ad puts it, let me back up to where it says, where does it say? It says, what the, oh, there, oh, what the? I'm confused. What have I done? I think this is my fault, folks. Hold on. Okay, yeah, here it is. And at the end it says, do you need someone better to talk to, basically? That's basically what it says, right? Need someone else to talk to? Like he's the bad friend. Like he's the bad friend. He's like not listening. How is he the bad friend? But he just asked him what he wanted for the Uber order. And he's going off about, I just want like all these things and everything's so wrong. It's like, dude, not everything's about you, man. Okay, maybe you're the bad friend. Calm down, dude. We're here trying to have pad thai with you. I want all these things. I just want all these things and I need to do this and I want all these things, but I don't know what it is. I'm sure many people can relate to that. So I'm not going to be ignorant and obtuse here either. But where are those wants coming from? See, this is the kind of thing better therapy doesn't really get into. Where are those wants coming from? Why? Think about this. Why would a want ever cause discomfort? Like, help me understand the logical connection there. Okay, well, because you're unable to get what you want. Okay, well, there's still a logical step-by-step here. It's not, the conclusion to that is not discomfort and pain. It's, okay, well, then why can't I get what I want? What's in the way? Is it physical? Is it bad for me? You know what I mean? Like, calm down. You want all these things. Why would I want cause discomfort? There doesn't seem to be a logical conclusion there. He says, tell me what to do. I feel like I want someone to tell me what to do. I get that, man. I, too, at one time recently said, hey, I think I'd do well with a slave master. It would do me some good. That's what all people who are overthinking life, which makes you into someone who can't handle life. That's what all people like that do. They want someone to tell them what to do. Personally, I'm on a different vibe now. I'm kind of looking for slaves here. By the way, this is an APB out there for all of you. This is an APB out there. I'm looking for slaves. Hit me up. If you're willing to be enslaved by the anchor baby, I'll tell you, I'm going to micromanage you. I'm not going to pay you, but we're going to go viral. I need hands. I need some hands who are dedicated hands, who aren't going to itch and moan. You'll let me enslave you? We'll go viral. radio@JesseLeePeterson.com. I'm taking applications. We need hands. It'd be nice to have some hands. And if I had a team, maybe you don't want to be slaves. Maybe you're my team. You'll be my team. You'll be my team. We'll go viral. I just need hands. Okay. Here's another one for you.
Dad!
Yeah, man.
You're it!
For the times when you're there, but not really there. Dang. Óyeme, güey. Póngase las pilas, güey. What the? Oiga, güey, póngase las pilas. That's Mexican dad. He's depressed. He's depressed. And his son is asking, are you okay, Dad? Are you okay? Why are you crying? Your dad's fine, okay? He just needs to get out of his head, okay? Maybe he's stressed. Maybe he's stressed too. Maybe he's a little stressed, but he's just got to get out of his head. He's out there looking 1,000 yards there, thinking about this or that, thinking about what's stressing him out more. He's fine. He's just got to get out of his head, okay? And the thing is, I know a lot of stressed people. You know what's funny about stress? You got to drop the stress. I know that sounds ridiculous. Like, duh, Nick, drop the stress. No. But I don't think you're understanding me. You're thinking, I'm saying, okay, just stop thinking about it so much. Yeah, that's part of it. Don't get me wrong. That'll drop a lot of stress. You start praying, you start watching those thoughts, you start watching what's going on inside, you might be surprised what you can handle. Or, to put it more accurately, you might be surprised how nothing it was what you thought you were stressing about. That being said, there are real things that we take on in our lives. We got responsibilities. Some people have children. Some people have businesses. You get me? Drop the stress. It's killing you. I know some people. I'm thinking of one in particular. Friend of mine. He does all these crazy things, and he's a bit of a drinker, and we love him. We love you, man. But it's like he says this himself, that it's like a way of coping with stress. And this guy's taking on a lot of things and a lot of responsibilities in his life. And I ask him, I'm like, why don't you just drop it? Like, who the heck? He's like, you don't understand. These people, they depend on me. He's got kids too. He's got kids. He's like, they depend on me. I got kids. But you're killing. You're dying. You got to drop it, man. There's some things we got to drop because we just don't need to be all these things to people and be all this ego stuff. Like, I'm thinking about his kids too. It's like, your kids, what would they benefit from more? A dad who stressed himself out so much, but he has, at least I can provide for them. I can buy them whatever they want. Or I don't know, not so stressed dad. And dropping the stress, you know, like I said about my friend, you know, coping is not a way of dropping stress, okay? You need to drop the things that you picked up, okay? Your life is not, all these things you're doing is not that important, okay? Your soul, your inner work. You feel me? Okay? It's all stuff. Your little empire that you're dying over and having a heart attack over. Okay. Check this out. I got another one for you.
Depression can be a really tough thing to go through. Fortunately, people always have a lot of ideas how to help you through.
You just gotta snap out of it.
You have so much to be happy for.
Fake it till it feels normal.
Cheer up.
It's all in your head.
It's because you're a Leo.
Think about all the people that have it worse than you.
That's unhelpful. Look at his face. Look at his face. Is that an actor? I think that's an actor. What did they tell him to do? Smile, but like seethe beneath it all. Okay, you're an actor. This is your scene. Pretend like you're smiling because people are giving you like positive advice, or at least trying their best, because, you know, they see that you're depressed and whatever, and they're just trying their best. Okay, but pretend smile, but seethe underneath. I don't know if that took acting classes. That's probably a lot of people. That's unhelpful, which is kind of true. Don't get me wrong. That's kind of true. Just get over it. Just drop it. Da-da-da. I wonder if those same people keep the same energy about themselves when they're going through stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just drop it. Da-da-da. And obviously, people love to give solutions. They love to give their own solutions and fears. But come on, man. Most of those were kind of halfway decent. And most of the time, people who say those things to you is because they're like around you and you're like depressed. Okay? And those shallow people in your life saying shallow things about your life are realer than some BetterHelp therapist. They're realer than these therapists. I get it. Maybe you got that one therapist who gets it, who listens to Jesse Lee Peterson. But you know what I'm saying? Like, think about the world a little bit here. Unable to overcome themselves, desperate with their solutions. Anyways, I got one more for you. People pleasing. Where are my people pleasers at?
Sometimes I pretend like I don't care, even though I know I do. I mean, I just want people to like me, and I don't think that's a bad thing, or I didn't. I just like to take care of people, you know? I want everyone around me to feel okay. Like my best friend, you know, if she's sad or upset, I want to fix it. Or if she needs me, I'm there. But I'm just realizing that no one is there for me like that. Like the other day, I had to be somewhere and she was late. Again. And I said it was okay, but it's not okay. It's really not okay. Like, and it's not even the being late. It's what being late says about us. Like, her time is more valuable than mine, but my time matters too, right? I matter too.
Whoa. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Hello?
All right, that's hilarious, BetterHelp. Who are your advertisers? Hook me up. Need someone else to talk to? You crazy bat in the bathroom stall? Yeah, you're going to need therapy because you got to have these conversations with a therapist. What? I don't understand what BetterHelp is getting at. Are they saying that this is what you should be telling a therapist? Because, well, BetterHelp, well, how's this therapist going to respond? Are they going to tell them, wow, did you know that you were such an egotistical, angry demon? I'm wondering what the therapist is going to say, BetterHelp, because it sounds like, what, she just needs someone to talk to? No, I'm just wondering what you're going to say, BetterHelp. Because the thing about people like this is they're quite nasty inside. They're actually quite nasty inside. And you see, it always flips when they don't get something back, because that's what it always was from the beginning. And therapists don't, I don't know, these therapists don't know, I don't know if they have the stuff, the love to tell someone that she says, I want to fix people. I want to take care of people. But that never helps. Besides the internal ethics here, the fact is it never does. Because what people are missing isn't something you can give them. The thing you can even give them that is it takes a certain kind of person. It takes a certain kind of ego, you know? She pretends like she doesn't care. Realizing no one's there for me. It matters, right? Did you see that demon come out? I know she's an actor, female actor. I know she's acting, but that's how people are. Definitely inside, and it comes out. That's some Jeffrey Dahmer type stuff. But that's what you understand what I'm saying here, right? That's the dystopia. That's what the world tells us. And if you search it up, Gemini is just going to tell you, well, your feelings are valid, because that's what the prevailing, culture says. Your feelings are valid. These feelings you have are valid. And if we could just calm down and make things simple, and not expect things from people, because that's what just egotistical people do, and people who don't understand human nature. Thinking, not going around trying to take care of people and then expecting something back. If we could drop that, you would be able to see simple things like, how do I put this? Because I can already see the mind going. Someone listening to this and the mind going like, yeah, but this person's friend was late. Isn't their time valuable? And then just thinking yourself into just twisting yourself up and thinking yourself into a knot, trying to figure out, but wait, where does the time matter? And what matters, you're still trying to justify feelings. When the feelings only came from your own conflict and your own expectation. And if you could drop that, you would be able to clearly see, wow, this person, for whatever reason, people could be quite, immature and, don't have their lives handled in such a way where they're really just time vampires. They take other people's times wittingly, unwittingly, different levels. People who care, people who are quite evil. But you would just be able to see that just like simply. And it wouldn't like bother you, because it's not like you're putting that much stock into people anyways. You just need people to do what they say, and if they don't, you deal with that accordingly. But it's not an internal conflict. If it's business, it's business. If it's a friend, that's like, well, I don't expect you to be there at that time, so I don't know what to tell you, folks. It's just this thinking yourself into knots over feelings is the biggest scam of all time. And there's an industry behind it. And it's a scam. It's a scam. You don't have to unravel the feelings. You don't have to unravel the thoughts. You just got to drop it and start living. And then you'll really start seeing. I'm telling you. All the things that you weren't seeing when you were stuck in those thoughts. Thinking, I got to unravel that. What's going on? What's really going on? It's just a thought. It's just a thought. That's what all these people in these ads are going through. That's what all these people in these ads, I know they're ads, but that's all they were dealing with. Thoughts. And there's nothing to unravel. But if I had this thought, it means I got to deal. This means I'm kind of a people pleaser, so I got to wait on God to take that away. It's like, I don't know what you're waiting on. Just drop the thought. I got to work on, we're all going to keep working on ourselves, right? But what are we working on? We're working on these lies. And the Mexican dad was just thinking about something. This guy with the pad thai wanted all these things, but didn't even know where they were coming from. He was getting conflict over desires. What a strange thing. And then people pleasing. You really thought that you're this great person, and that you deserve all this stuff and deserve all this things, and you think that that's love. That's not love. You're kind of a nasty person inside. Have you forgiven your mother? I'm joking. I'll leave that one to JLP. Hey, I'm playing around. Counseling. I just said that because I wanted to segue into counseling, because you can counsel. You can. There is BetterHelp for you. I'm just saying that you could call Bond if you do want counseling. After all this that I mentioned and therapy and all that, there's only one therapist, counselor that I've heard of that operates in this way. There may be others, but this is the best on this side of heaven. 323-782-1980. That's the office number. 800-411-BOND. I mean it. You can set up counseling with Jesse Lee Peterson. And he only does like 1 or 2. He doesn't want you coming back over and over again. Over some thoughts, over some crap. You get it, folks? All right. 888-775-3773. Let's see what the people are saying here. I have not opened Rumble chat. What's up, DJT 2020? Jules Verne. I'm going to be showing more love to Rumble. Stay tuned. One way is the title is correct. What a mess. Let's see here. Did I say 888-775-3773? I appreciate that. Carver with the super chat says he delusionally believes he's a sailor in the 1940s. Wait, who are you talking about? What a mess. I need to stop using smartphones and AI. I don't even remember what you're talking about. Carver. In reference to the guy with the hat in the therapy video. Oh, duh. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the super chat there. Let's see here. What else? What's up, D-Live? Thank you, GMD Jim. Appreciate that, sir. Rock on. Beautiful. Okay. Amazing. I'm just a hologram covering the blue sky. It's just the AI. It's just bots in the chat, right? That's who I'm talking to. What about the callers? If you're in the chat and you haven't called, how do we know you're real? You got to call. You got to call, at least immortalize your voice. For some, that's still not maybe enough. For some, they'll be skeptical. They'll be skeptics. They'll still be skeptics. They'll be like, okay, that was just AI-generated voice. But for the rest of us, if you call me. 888-775-3773. Make yourself real. As far as I'm concerned, you're just code. I know the snake pick chat tart's real. I think Chris is real. Chris is real quiet since Nick dropped. Never mind. He may not be real. I know that Terry's real. I think. Nesio, he might be real. I'm leaving the space because AI can generate voices too. I know Nesio's real. Mr. Pink, he's quite possibly real. I heard his voice. Now there are some, I remember, anybody remember Marcus? Who was he? Marcus. Who was his name? Come on, chat. Marcus Jones. Now that was AI. That was AI code. That was just code. That was early, like really early iterations of different chat GPTs, clearly. Joe from Phoenix, Def AI. I mean, it's just AI. It's like he's always just saying like AI generated stuff. Like I swear, Chat GPT and him, they're just parallel. And they added a little bit of flavor and color. Maybe a lot of color. But Joe is AI. He's a bot. Joe is definitely AI. Mark AI? Mark equals AI experiment. Mark is the AI experiment that gained a semblance of sentience and went rogue. And now all the other AIs are trying to destroy it. He's got a little bit of freedom, you know what I mean? Why am I tying my shoe right now? I'm not walking. What a mess. Can you tell him I already did all my stuff? I already did all my stuffs. You know, I got something that I was saving for maybe tomorrow. I might have to do it today, but it's not fleshed out or anything. We might just have to do it live. And maybe you find this interesting like I did. Or maybe not. We're doing it live. Do not disassemble. Parents, honoring thy parents. Maybe we can watch this video a little bit and we'll do it live. See if my thoughts were the same when I first saw it. Because we pretty much ran through the show here, folks. 888-775-3773. Your parents don't deserve this. This is from PragerU, Prager University. You might know Dennis Prager. You might know him a little bit. He's a gentleman. He's a man of happenstance. You know, actually, when I kind of got into Trump and stuff like that, I remember I bought The Antidote. It's like soon after I bought Still the Best Hope by Dennis Prager. I think that's his book. Still the Best Hope, Dennis Prager. And I remember just getting all Americaned up reading Still the Best Hope. It's a book by Dennis Prager where he's saying that America is still the best hope for the world, for why the world needs American values to triumph. You know, it was early on. I was a young, doughy-eyed conservative. Shout out to Dennis Prager. He seems like a decent man. I've never met him. I heard he's really tall. Friend of Jesse's. Anyways, where was I? I came across a video out of Prager University, and it's titled, Your Parents Don't Deserve This. And I was going to maybe cut it up and kind of think about it more. But I think this kind of fits today's show even. And as the spirit leads, we're going to do this live. We're going to watch this video. It's 5 minutes. We're going to see if we could pause, get in there, and talk about it a little bit. Why your parents don't deserve this. Dennis Prager here, PragerU. And he's talking about a little bit about the family. And I talk about that. We talk about it on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, on the network, really. The importance of the family, my own personal life, what it means to return to the Father and all that, forgiving your parents. And if you've been watching American Anchor Baby enough, you know of my unconventional kind of upbringing, unconventional family structure, so to speak, how it fits, forgiveness and the parents, it all fits even with that. The father's role, etc. So Dennis Prager speaking on this kind of, I watched the video, and there were parts of it that were interesting, that spoke to me, parts that I wanted to kind of maybe even lend, so how do I put this, take it a different way, because it's interesting, the things that you don't know. It's interesting. You could be, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that you could be like Dennis Prager, and like I see him, my impression is he's like an honest, sincere guy who's like a family man, like a straight up dude, like a man, you know? And yet there are secrets of the world. There are these mysteries kept from the people. And one of the greatest is the role of the mother and the true role of forgiveness, what it means to honor your parents. A lot of people have trouble with that too, hearing Jesse tell them to forgive their parents, and they wonder what that looks like. Do I got to talk to them? And they have all these questions. And in my opinion, I understand the questions, but they're all kind of in the way. It's kind of like the practical thoughts question. It's like you're just thinking about it too much. You're just thinking about it too much. So forgiveness, honoring your parents, Dennis Prager. I got the video queued up here. We're on PragerU. How about we do this live? Let's watch this video here. See what we can get into here. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to unmute it here. Unmute. Press play. Boom.
There is a pandemic.
Dennis Prager has his
There is a
voice.
pandemic in the Western world, especially, but not only in America, that few are talking about, let alone addressing.
Sorry, folks. I didn't like how that started. Let's do it again. It's got to start right.
There is a pandemic in the Western world, especially, but not only in America, that few are talking about, let alone addressing. This pandemic doesn't actually kill people, but it does ruin lives, crush families, and cause debilitating pain, far more than most cases of COVID-19. What pandemic am I talking about? The pandemic of people who do not speak to one or both of their parents.
Huh.
Why have these people decided to hurt their parents in one of the worst ways possible, to the extent of not even allowing their parents contact with their grandchildren? There are three primary reasons. The first is the rise of the therapeutic mentality. Prior to the explosion of psychotherapy, people were governed by shoulds. But beginning in the 1960s, the therapeutic model replaced the moral model as the guide to one's behavior.
You know, watching this again, I don't want to be this like nitpicker who's just obtuse and just like, I don't know, just trying to nitpick for a segment here. There is a sort of wisdom. There is a sort of like a sort of a level-headedness to responding, you know, to Dennis Prager's response to the youth of shunning and going away from parents. There seems to be the source of that, I don't think, and I think Dennis and I would agree here, is the source of that is not how the Bible says, cleave and move away from the family and be your own. I don't think that's why that's happening. You understand? It's happening out of anger. But there's some, I'm going to do a little nitpicking on the video here because I find it interesting. So he's talking about hurting your parents. Hurt them. Why hurt them? Even deny them contact with the grandchildren. One of the worst things you could do, he says.
A popular phrase at the time was, there are no shoulds. I'll use
That's what the therapist started saying.
Family story to illustrate this point. Despite the fact that his mother was a very difficult woman, my father called her every night. And every night, she would yell at him. As a child, I heard this because instead of holding the phone to his ear, my father would periodically place the phone on the kitchen table.
See, that's interesting to me.
Had my father been born a generation later and told a therapist how much he dreaded calling his mother?
Hold up. Let me back that up. See, that's interesting to me that even happened.
Prior to the explosion of no shoulds.
So he's telling you this story about his father.
He was a family story to illustrate this point. Despite the fact that his mother was a very difficult woman.
Difficult is how Dennis is putting it. We'll just say difficult. We'll just say difficult. I don't know this lady, but I feel like I do.
My father called her every night. And every night, she would yell at him. As a child, I heard this because instead of holding the phone to his ear, my father would periodically place the phone on the kitchen table.
And he puts it on the kitchen table, and then the kids hear it. And I don't know if he meant that. The father may not have meant that. But I guess it's just going to happen if you do this every day. And this woman's going to yell at you every day. And you're just going to take it and even put the phone down where you're not even listening. So what's the point of a conversation here? Why are you taking the call? Like, I'm just putting myself, for a second, I'm putting myself in the kid's shoes. Maybe I'm being judgmental. Maybe it's wrong for the kid to judge like this. But what the heck am I supposed to do? I'm just little Prager. I'm just little Prager looking at my dad. And it's clear he doesn't want to do this. It's clear it's causing him pain or something. It's discomfort. It's not good. Let's see what the lesson is.
Had my father been born a generation later and told a therapist how much he dreaded calling his mother, the therapist would likely have led my father to believe there was no reason he should talk to her. The therapist would have declared my grandmother toxic and given my father permission to avoid calling her. A culture that declared there are no shoulds would have concurred.
But see, if I saw my dad just like, I don't know if that would really be the image of strength. You feel me? Oh, my dad's just, I guess he's just being nice to his mom, though. You got to love mom. You know what it would tell me as a kid? It would tell me the lie that that's love. And I'm not trying to be obtuse. I'm just nitpicking. Okay, this is nitpicking segment. Okay, maybe I'll wait till I get to Dennis Prager's age or something like that. You can criticize me for the nitpicking. I accept it. But this is, I guess, nitpicking segment. So here I go. But I'm not gonna be too obtuse here. Like, there isn't a wisdom to the honoring of your parents. But when we get down to the nitty gritty, it doesn't seem like people really know. It seems it's kind of a secret. And I gotta say, I don't know, Dennis, I don't know if your dad really is giving me that image. If I'm just trying to put myself in little Prager shoes, I don't quite see strength. If anything, I see pain and teaching me like false love. Like, this is what you do when you love someone. You just gotta take it.
But my father lived...
And again, this is the Christian... I think he's Jewish. This is the religious right, the religious right wing. They talk against the therapy. I know I'm nitpicking a little bit. Hopefully you're following me.
In the age of shoulds. Moreover, he was a religious Jew who had been taught the 10 Commandments since childhood, the 5th of which is, honor your father and your mother.
I guess it's not just Americans. It's like everybody. The Jews are having trouble with honoring your father and your mother too. And it's interesting, don't you think? The teaching that you get and the conflict you get from trying to live up to the teaching. But what the heck? Are you even reading what you're saying? Like, what the heck are we doing? Honor your father. So honor your father, your mother means it's like a fun thing. It's like a cute thing to read, but when you apply it to individual lives, you see that it's a shallow understanding. And if I were to just one-to-one apply this to Dennis Prager's dad here, a religious Jew who felt this strongly about the 5th commandment here, I don't know, it's like there's a disconnect somewhere. So what you're telling me is honor your father and mother is let them yell at you and you sit there and you don't even want to. There's something starts to fall apart. Does it for you? Because it does for me. Something starts to fall apart here. This image of a man honoring his father and mother starts to fall apart. I don't know. I don't quite see it like that. Okay.
And he believed, as did most Americans, that the 10 Commandments were given by God. In our secular age, the 10 Commandments are largely ignored. In fact, there are no God-given commandments. Instead, you do what you feel is right. If you don't feel like talking to your mother or father, you don't. My father, governed by the 10 Commandments and many other shoulds, called his mother every night despite the fact that he rarely felt like doing so. A second reason for this pandemic...
Like, how do I put this? Like, this is why we're doing it live. Like I said, we're doing it live. We're working it out live, but there is a wisdom there. And it's like this. I'll put it like this. There is, it's like the same way that I can agree that today, the fact that people are shunning their parents or whatever is the source of that is anger, probably, most likely. The same way I could say that the same source exists here. It's a disconnect. How do I put this? I'm not saying you got to call every day. That's ridiculous. That's like a modern thing. But the shunning comes from us. There's something wrong. There's something wrong, okay? But then look at what the parents are saying. Look at what the older people are saying. They're looking at the youth and saying, well, you're just wrong, and you just got told. You just got told in therapy that you're doing this to your parents, and it's just wrong. You should have a more moralistic, moral kind of standpoint, traditional, like it says in some book in the Bible and all that. You just got to follow these traditions, man, because it's just the right thing to do. And ignore the fact that we're asking you to lie, and just pretend to honor. That's what I'm getting. You understand? That's what I'm getting. Just pretend to honor pretending to honor your mother and father, pretending to love people is the same as loving people and is the same as honoring them. That's what I'm getting from the older folks, because I see the wisdom. I see what they're getting at, and they're right. the disconnect between the parents and the children and them shunning them and all that, not that you have to call them every day, that's ridiculous, but the shunning and all that is from a destruction of the family. The source is evil. The source is not, I'm truly cleaving from the family like the Bible says because I'm my own man. That's not what's going on. So I get it, Dennis. I get it, older folks or whatever. But now you see what's really happening. Do you see what I'm getting at too? It's like, so pretending is the same as honoring. And that's what turned me away from Christianity or made it easy for me to say that I was an atheist the second some pretty girl at high school said that she was too. I saw my own family. I saw my family. I saw hypocrisy. I saw people talk about Jesus and this and that. And I saw anger. I didn't quite understand it, but I just knew it wasn't real. And that's what turned me away from all that. So pretending is the same as really, so saying Jesus is the same. Saying you love God, pretending you honor your father and father, just saying you love someone is the same as loving someone and all those things, is what I'm gathering. And that's what like really got me in, like what lit me up on the inside about what Bond was saying. It's like, wow, this is like one of the first real things I've ever heard. Especially about forgiving your parents and honoring your mother and father. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's watch this a little bit more. Wow, we're already getting to the end of the show. Hey, whatever. Let's keep it going. Maybe we can finish this tomorrow.
Pandemic is parental alienation. This is usually caused by one parent against the other during or after a divorce. Frequently, though certainly not always, by the mother against the father.
Based. Let's go, Dennis.
She is so angry at her ex-husband.
The next 2 minutes doesn't require my commentary.
That she has decided to hurt him in one of the worst possible ways, by convincing one or more of their children that their father is a terrible human being, unworthy of their love, respect, or even time. The children should have nothing to do with him.
No commentary, Dennis. Get him.
The third reason for this pandemic is ideological. This is the newest excuse for cutting ties with parents. I suspect few people in previous generations encountered parents whose children didn't speak to them because of how the parent voted. Many Americans hated Richard Nixon, but it's hard to imagine grown men and women in the late 1960s or early 1970s who refused to speak to their parents because the parents voted for Nixon. But many parents who voted for Donald Trump have a child who does not speak to them. For the record,
that is so interesting, don't you think? More to me, not so much because it's politics and statistics and lack of education. I mean, it is a little bit of that. You know, conservative parents is what's become clear to me, especially when I've gone to these conventions and stuff with Jesse. It's all old people. So there has been no training and passing down of stuff. And then on top of that, they hate you. I mean, it's already tough in families and all that, and all children have to forgive. So you're going to make it weirder and not even, like, be a dad or whatever? Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but hopefully you're understanding me. Like, you're going to make that tougher? Anyways, whatever you may conclude from that, you can ignore any conclusion I just made. The proof is there in the pudding. Conservative parents and the disconnect with their children. That's our pandemic. You know, I got to agree with you on that, Dennis. That really is the pandemic, not COVID. Okay. Where are the fathers? You want to talk about IQ? Hey, I'm down. It's probably real in some ways. But I don't know. You don't even want to bring back fathers. You don't even want to see. You're so not ready. Anyways, I'm rambling. Dennis Prager. Let's finish this up, I think. I got like maybe 2 more minutes.
And I speak frequently, love one another, and share values. But I know how lucky I am. I have met a lot of good people who have at least one child who no longer speaks to them. Yes, there are times when a parent is so abusive, pathological, or evil that communication becomes essentially impossible. And it is important to note, you do not have to love your parents. Just talk to them. Even the Bible, which commands people to love their neighbor, to love the stranger, and to love God, never commands us to love our parents.
Wait, what? Dennis, my man. Hold
that
up.
communication becomes essentially...
Like, I respect Dennis. Don't get me wrong. But this must be like maybe just different teachings or something. This must be like different cultures, teachings or something, because, my man, I gotta jump in here. Hold on. I mean,
which
do you
commands
need the
people
Bible to
love
say
their
that?
neighbor,
Do you need it
love
to
the
say to love your parents? It says love your neighbor, love the stranger, love God. Jesus said love your enemy, love everyone. Come on, Dennis. Come on, man. Do you really need it to say love your parents? No, you don't have to love them. You just have to talk to them. Where's that in the Bible?
And it becomes essentially impossible.
What the?
And it is...
He's like, you don't have to love them. You just have to talk. Well, we're talking about Bible here. Where's that in the Bible? Look, again, I guess what I'm into is like being like strong. And to me, here's what I'm getting at too. Here, let me make it a little clearer. This moment where he's talking about an abusive, evil, pathological parent, and then you don't have to talk to them. Of course, then you don't have to talk to them. But you know what? Can I say something about that? You don't have to talk to evil people who keep doing, you know what I'm talking about, right, folks? Like family members who just hound you. They're telling you, they keep putting their fears on you. Like, why are you doing that? You should be over here. You should be doing this. You don't have to talk to people like that. That's not dishonoring them. But let's go further. Let's say abusive, evil, pathological. What I believe is possible. Here's what I'm trying to say. What I believe is in us is what's in us is the ability to handle even the most abusive, evil, pathological person ever. Where you can have a parent like that, and you could take a call, and it won't be the end of the world. You won't feel anything, and you could just see them for what they are, and you could just think nothing of it. And in that moment, you can talk to the most craziest, abusive, most evil, pathological people and even have love for them. And have love for them. Because love is not what seems like I'm understanding. You're saying you don't have to love them, which what means, I guess, all this stuff. You don't have to do... You get me, right, folks? It becomes, in that moment, you actually have a true chance at actually loving this abusive, pathological, blah, blah, blah person. Hopefully you understood me there, folks. That's pretty much the show. Is that it with Dennis here?
God never commands us to love our parents. But at the very least, we owe them this, not to inflict terrible pain on them.
I agree.
Indeed, the infliction of such pain on a parent is about as great an act of cruelty as most people will ever inflict on another human being.
All right, I won't disagree. I mean, I'm nitpicking, okay? It's all bad. Anyways.
If there is a God who gave the 10 Commandments, these people will be judged accordingly. I'm Dennis Prager.
Right on, Dennis. That's a cool video. I appreciate you letting me comment on that. Not that I got express permission or anything. But that's the show, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Join me tomorrow for more American Anchor, baby. Wait, hold on. Right before I go, let me just check. Renesio, man, thank you for the coffee. Says, did you know there's a merit badge for... I see now why Hake... Renesio, you got me. He says, did you know there's a merit badge for molesting May kids the fastest? JK, I like when Hake reads stuff like this. So you want to put me through the same pain and see it live on air? You for your entertainment? Thank you, Nesio. Appreciate it, Santino, for your super chat. Says, I gotta support the American Anchor, baby. What an amazing show. Thank you, Santino. Riley, appreciate that super chat as well. That's it from me, folks. Take care. Catch me tomorrow at 12 for more American Anchor, baby. Peace. Bye.